All right, viewers, we're starting the bulletin with some big breaking news which is coming in at this point of time. Remember, Trump just a few minutes ago had claimed that Iran's military is completely decimated. But Iran, it seems like, has renewed their attack on Israel. Now, we have reports coming in that missiles have been launched from the side of Iran, and this confirmation is not coming from the side of Iran but the side of the IDF or Israel. IDF itself is saying that Iran is firing missiles towards Israel. Iran's missile attack on Israel is continuing. Israel claims that they've thwarted these attacks. The defense systems have intercepted the threat. That is obviously the statement coming in from the side of Israel. But how are we to view these most recent attacks by Iran, the barrage of missiles being lobbed towards Israel, and especially in the backdrop of what Donald Trump had to say? To discuss that and more, we have Major General retired Rajan Kotra. He's a defense expert joining us from our studio. Morning, sir. Thank you for joining us on Times Now.
Morning,
sir, I'm sure, you were with us live throughout. You've heard what Trump has had to say. Trump claims that Iran's military obliterated, their navy is gone, they have no missiles, no cards left. But Iran is renewing attacks on Israel. How do you see this latest development, sir?
Meenakshi, I think this is part of the narrative war which is actually going on, and Trump is wanting to justify that he's been able to win this war so far, but actually the claims on ground do not match the reality, because today we are seeing that Iran is capable to launch missiles from within Iran, because Trump's claim is that all the launchers have been destroyed. But we see that these missiles are still being launched, and the way hypersonic missiles are entering Tel Aviv, because Sejil and Khorramshahr 3 are those missiles which have been used by Iran on Israel with a telling effect. And I think these claims which Trump is making, he also made a claim in an address about the nuclear sites. So I don't think any of those nuclear sites have been damaged, and the uranium is still intact. And therefore, we have to take whatever Trump speaks with a pinch of salt, because it's not the reality. And he even mentioned that a regime change has been done. What is the interpretation of a regime change? It's only a leadership change which has happened. So these kind of narratives which Trump is building up in the media is to give him an opening or an off-ramp, I would say that, to exit the war at maybe a stage after a week or 2 weeks, because the same kind of narrative is being played around by Trump over a period of time. That's what we have been observing.
Right. So how are we to view Trump's claims? Rhetoric, bluster, classic Trump playbook? Perhaps, yes. Sir, do stay with us. We also have Group Captain Dr. M.J. Augustine. Vinod, he's also joined us live on the broadcast. Thank you, sir, for joining us. I'll come to you, sir. We have a breaking news coming in at this point of time. This is related, viewers, to the IRGC. So Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, basically, they have announced that they had launched 89th wave of Operation True Promise 4. That's what they're calling it, carrying out strikes against the US and Israeli targets in the region. IRGC said that in a statement, Iran and various resistance fronts, through their coordinated operations using heavy missiles attack, and also they are using attack drones, rockets, etc. to strike US military bases, and obviously going on to mention all the locations which are on their hit list. Srinjoy, my colleague, is also live with us. Good morning to you, Srinjoy. I'll come to you. But first, let me go across to Group Captain Dr. M.J. Augustine. Vinod. So, again, just as we were being told by Major General Rajan Kotra, that it seems to be a narrative war. End of the day, both sides claiming victory. Iran says that they have launched a barrage of missiles, listing out the hit list when it comes to, US targets. Trump on the other side says Iran's obliterated, they have no cards left. How do you see the narratives really, sir, emanating from both sides?
Great question. In fact, let's draw a parallel from Venezuela and Iran. Venezuela was a person-dependent organization, country, or polity, whatever you may say. Maduro gone, Venezuela felt like a deck of cards. That is not true with Iran. Iran is an ideology-driven country. Yes, to some extent, I would agree with Trump when he said regime change, but not in those many words, but the entire top leadership have been eliminated. But the country, the ideology, the way the country is run has not changed, because they have rings of the lines of leadership already decided. People say as many as 20 lines of leadership have been decided, and they are people in the waiting. And mind you, like I said, ideology, shahadat for Iranians is the ultimate aim. So they don't mind laying down their lives. That said, coming to military being obliterated, far from true. And the 89th wave has already been launched. But to some extent, I must give it to Trump. A lot of military potential, conventional military potential of Iran has been hit badly. Isfahan we have been seeing it, we've been covering it for the last 2 days.
Yep.
Isfahan has been hit very badly. Nuclear fuel per se, you cannot hit any country's nuclear fuel, because any country worth its salt keeps its nuclear fuel hundreds of meters under the ground. You cannot reach it. No missile, rocket, bomb has ever been made to penetrate that much of Earth to go and hit a nuclear warhead. And nuclear warhead comes out, comes out for mating only at the time of launch, and as one of the nuclear train deliverer, I can tell you this from the horse's mouth. Coming to Middle East.
Right. So partial truth, partial bluster, end of the day, it is war rhetoric, and both sides obviously upping the stakes. So do stay with us. We have another breaking news coming in. Breaking news coming in, viewers. Widespread destruction has been reported in central Israel following latest Iranian missile strike. So basically, reports coming in that Iranian missiles have struck central Israel, and apologies, there has been widespread damage also, which has been reported. We also have visuals which had come in earlier today, and we're reflecting them on the screens for you. Srinjoy, my colleague, also is live with us. Srinjoy, take us through the latest coming in far as obviously Iran's fresh wave of attacks are concerned, and obviously all of this happening in the backdrop of what Trump has had to say. How are we to interpret the latest developments?
Well, Trump has said that he has destroyed the Iranian Navy. Correct. He has destroyed the Iranian Air Force. Correct. He has destroyed the air defense system. Probably correct. He has said that he has hit the missile production capabilities and the drone production capabilities very hard. But even if he has, the Iranians have probably decentralized their drone production and missile production capabilities, and also moved their launchers. Let's not forget that Iran is a big country in terms of land mass. It's exactly half the size of India, bigger than France and Germany together. So if you decentralize these capabilities in mountains and deserts and so on, and you have time to do it, because the Iranians knew this was coming. They have places where they are manufacturing these missiles, where they are manufacturing these drones and launching them. Now, 34 days after the war, they are still hitting Israel. They are still hitting the Gulf states. Of course, they have faced heavy damage. There's no doubt about it. All this, the Navy, the Air Force, the air defense system, some of the infrastructure that Israel has hit, all of that is correct. The top leadership has been wiped out. There's no dispute about that. But they have missiles, they have drones, even right now, which is why they are striking. The other point is, in the history of warfare, in the last 100 years, when air warfare has been in practice, there has never been a regime change from just by bombing a country from the air. You look at any war, it hasn't happened. President Trump has used this phrase, bomb Iran into the Stone Age. That's very reminiscent of the phrases that were used during the Vietnam War, when in the Kennedy and the Johnson administration, the same point was made. bomb them into the Stone Age. The reply, even within the government, was they are in the Stone Age. In this case, of course, that is not so. But even today, they have moved their equipment in such places, their capabilities in such places, that these missiles are still being fired.
Right. And obviously, which is why we are reporting the missile barrage which has been lobbed towards Israel. Do stay with us to enjoy. Let's also listen in, viewers, exactly to what Trump has had to say, because Trump almost, I should say, had his mission accomplished moment, going on to say the war has been already won, something which he has been saying, reiterating, re-emphasizing it today in his war address. Listen in.
They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles, and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible, and they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, but in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
U.S. nearing completion of all objectives in the Iran war. That is the big statement coming in from the side of Donald Trump. We will be analyzing, obviously, that entire address of Donald Trump on the other side of this short commercial break as well. Don't go anywhere else.